It was just tapping in with the video, and I'm gonna try to make this one quick because I'm waiting on a bus right now. But I just wanted to say, if you ever had anyone in your life that's not in your life anymore, you never gotta worry about missing them because you'll see their ass in hell. And they say hell is forever, so we ain't gotta miss nobody in this life or feel bad about. We don't gotta feel messed up about nothing. We'll see everybody's ass again. But we'll be working when we see. See, that's the thing. In this life, nobody wants to work. Everybody wants the best of things, but nobody wants to work for it. And then they end up killing one another, and we all go to hell. Then we end up getting to work because we're gonna work because it's not hell if you're not working because you gotta earn all things, even hell. But you're not getting paid that time, except with more hell. So you do right, you get hell. You do wrong, you get hell. So we'll see everyone again in hell. But no, if anybody's concerned about me, you don't have to be concerned because my Cash App's not working. So if you were concerned, the best way to be concerned would be to give me a Cash App. But most people that are concerned, they want to get your ass in more trouble that costs you more money. The concerned ones, but I just wanted to tap in a little bit, just about a little bit something that was on my mind, which is that, and that's actually a good way to segue this, is like talking about like what make a person concerned about another person. Where really, if I just arrived on this camera like this, you wouldn't necessarily have cause or ample opportunity to be concerned because I didn't give you something to be concerned about. But that's actually similar to, I wanted to say that, see, a lot of things, the best of things, like I saw a video online that said, God is great. And it had like damn near a million, either like a million. You make a video that says God is good, or just make a video that just says God. You make about at least almost a million likes, and like half that in comments. You make a video about any other righteous you make a video about any other thing righteous and say anything this and that, and it's not getting that kind of traction. So what I want to say is that the oldest of things, the best of things, the money making things, they never change, they just get better. So you take back in the day you could, if someone had a lot of times, like nowadays you'll hear people say stuff like they'll say oh, that doesn't surprise me about that one. Yeah, I bet that one like this and that. They're probably this and that. That one's a weirdo. They didn't actually get to see anyone do anything right or wrong. They cast an aspersion. They cast doubt on that person. Back in the day, when the church ruled, that you could say that one's a witch. That one's wicked. That one's evil. Then if you got them to confess that, you can hold that confession over them. You can burn them at the stake. Now, you go to a doctor. They give you a questionnaire. They give you a form to fill out, or they just get you comfortable opening your mouth. No one can look inside of your brain. No one knows what the hell's going on inside of your brain. But you say the right thing. You just made a confession the same way that you did back in the day. So nothing actually changed about that. It just got better. But why do we have doctors now? And back then we had the church. See, the church never slipped up in this many thousand years until about the 1950s. What you had in the 1950s is that you had birth control proliferated. So everyone's always had the way that you control people is you control their relationships. In the past, that's based around family, that's based around children. So when you had sexual activity in the past, there would imminently be children created from sexual activities. So back in the day, if you had a child out of wedlock, you could be cast out of the community worse than a witch. It was very serious about children back in the day. My mother, she worked in adoption until recently. If you say you're a 50-year-old person right now and you were adopted in the 1950s, or you're maybe 70 now, you can't actually figure out who your parents are because they have that locked. You can't find it, even though your parents may have been deceased. That information from that period is guarded so tightly that you can, almost near about the penalty of death, you cannot figure out who your parents were. That's how serious it was about family and wedlock back then. But now So you had sexual activity in the past, you couldn't hide that because there's a child. Now you have birth control, so you can hide it, or you can't control people around family creation the same way you could back then. But there was a song by Too Short back in the day. He said, I don't mean to be vulgar with this, but this is just for a point. He said, I left her walking funny. What's wrong? Last night, short dog got his F on. If you have sexual activity, it can actually affect the way that you come across your mannerisms enough to make you seem weird or out of sorts. A lot of the things that get people up in these doctors is because you can't fake certain things. A lot of life is fake. You can't keep up the fakeness of life once you've had certain experiences. So they get you under lock and key like that. So what I meant to say is that the doctors have replaced what used to be the church, but it's still controlled like that. And so they got more sophisticated. But when you had sexual liberation in the 50s, that you may say that the church it wasn't sophisticated enough to control people with the old ways. So if you look at a lot of mental health stuff, a lot of it's like the church. This one's bad, that one's condemned, that one's a bad person. But it's more sophisticated in order to keep up with the actual nuances of the reality, especially with the sexual activity. So a lot of mental health is preoccupied exactly around sex, but it's very sophisticated like that. And so it's just exactly keeping the power like the church did, but it's keeping up with the times and for some of the sexual liberation. So I just wanted to point that out and so this, I'm not offering this as authoritative. If you look at something in school, it's called a discipline. They call it subjects, but it's actually called a discipline. So I'm just offering this as a discipline of keeping a skill of like oratory and sharing ideas. It's just for the interest of truth. No one's better than anyone else. No one's worse than anyone else. And no angle. It's like if you ever seen the movie Saving Private Ryan, when they got onto the beach, they had machine guns for every last angle that you could hide at. Every last obstacle, they were calculated. It was waiting for that. In this life, anything that you do for your self-interest, any standpoint, any background, any identity, they got a machine gun just for that. So the only thing is when we come together with truth. So I'm just offering this with truth, but there's no other way. Peace.